I know that many of you have been taught and told to take notes. So understand this, that taking notes is a very, very poor memory technique. And also most of you are not very good administrative minded that you can settle all this information down into a database that you can then regurgitate whenever you want. You're not very good at it. If you do want to take notes, the best way to probably do that is in the WizPoints app, tap on the point in the question and add the notes that you want, and it'll stay next to that point for as long as you've got the app. So that's the best way to do that. But even that I wouldn't do. The way I take notes is in my mind, because if I can remember it, it's done. Every time you take a note, you're putting the information over there and hoping that you remember it. Whereas if you don't do that, you basically engage your brain and you attempt to remember it, and you'll make far better progress. Very often, you don't actually know which points would require a turnaround, and you start making turnarounds for points that don't need them. So for example, Canning Town Station, I know that people are turning Canning Town Station around. It could be that the examiner is asking it to be turned around. That can only happen on the level stage 5, which is 21s, and they can only ask one question like that on each appearance. So prior to that, you've got plenty of time to come across that information and practice it if you're doing enough point to point. They cannot ask it on any other level, and it doesn't need a turnaround. Canning Town Station doesn't need a turnaround. Then there are points that are ambiguous. An ambiguous point would be Angel Station and Victoria Stakes Public House near Alexandra Palace in Park Road. These 2 points are ambiguous for one simple reason of, is it dangerous to set it on the right or leave it on the right? And quite frankly, is it dangerous doesn't really apply, because the phrase that's used throughout the knowledge is there is no traffic. And when there's no traffic, there is no danger. So you could sit at the side of the road as long as you want and then take the turning that you're trying to do when the road is clear. So danger doesn't really play that part. So those points don't need to be left on the left or set on the left only. They are ambiguous, and the examiner should be expressing that they're requiring you to leave that specific point on the left or set it on the left for this particular calculation today. And with any ambiguous point, you are more than allowed to ask the examiner, sir or ma'am, do you wish me to leave that on the left, or am I able to leave it on the right, because it's obviously ambiguous. Which brings us to a little bit of some of the rules that you're probably not aware of and you need to be aware of and stay aware of. Keep left bollards. Don't prevent you from leaving on the right or setting on the right. Bear that in mind. Keep left islands, pedestrian islands. Don't stop you from doing that, because you're not going to stop between them. Traffic lights don't stop you from setting on the right or setting on the leaving on the right, because it's illegal to stop between the studs of traffic lights. That's not a place that you're allowed to stop. Zebra crossings don't stop you from leaving on the right or setting on the right, because again, it's illegal to stop there regardless of what direction you're traveling from. So if you have a friend who's advising you to take notes on the first left, notes on the first right, and to learn a turnaround for each of the points that you go and visit, you are quite literally being sent up the garden path and being encouraged to take years to do the knowledge and to take on board information that you will never ever need. And by doing that, you are not focusing on the fact of the information that you do need, the stuff that you need to be good at, the stuff that we know day in and day out is being asked. So be careful of that advice.